नमस्कार. झी मराठी US अपडेटमध्ये मी तेजू बांबुळकर आपले स्वागत करते. चला पाहूया या आठवड्यातील काही ठळक घडामोडी. दी विभा वाईब 2017 यांची अनोखी डान्स कॉम्पिटिशन. आशा फॉर एज्युकेशन या संस्थेची न्यूजर्सीमध्ये करिओकी स्पर्धा. आणि आज आपल्या भेटीला येत आहेत ज्योत्स्ना भट आणि डॉक्टर वासुदेव दीक्षित. भारतामध्ये रस्त्यावर असणाऱ्या मुलांच्या अनेक समस्या आहेत हे आपण सारे जाणतोच. दी अक्षय पात्रा फाउंडेशन प्रमाणेच विभा नावाची ही संस्था अशा मुलांसाठी अनेक प्रकल्प हाती घेत असते. ही संस्था अनेक कॉर्पोरेशन्सकडून तसेच व्हॉलंटियर्सकडून फंड्स गोळा करून या प्रकल्पांसाठी काम करत असते. न्यूजर्सीमध्ये अलीकडेच झालेल्या एका विभा वाईब 2017 या बेनिफिट गालामध्ये त्यांनी एक अनोखी डान्स स्पर्धा आयोजित केली होती. अनेक मान्यवरांनी ज्यांना नाच येत नाही आपल्या कोरिओग्राफरबरोबर येऊन या स्पर्धेत भाग घेतला. 13 टीम्सनी या स्पर्धेमध्ये भाग घेतला. या बेनिफिट गालाला बॉलिवूड तारका पूजा बत्रा यांनी उपस्थिती लावली होती. पूजा बत्रा यांनी $1000 देणगी या प्रकल्पांना दिली. चला पाहूया या गालाची एक झलक.
Because that was the cause, that is the intent. And so big applause to all of you who made it here with that cause in mind. So very much. I pledge $1,000.
आता घेऊया एक छोटासा ब्रेक. आशा फॉर एज्युकेशन ही संस्था भारतातील खेडोपाडी जाऊन मुलांच्या शिक्षणासाठी काम करत असते. जगभर यांच्या 50हून जास्ती शाखा आहेत. न्यू जर्सीतील आशा फॉर एज्युकेशन या शाखेने एक करिओकी स्पर्धा आयोजित केली होती. हा निधी निरनिराळ्या शैक्षणिक प्रकल्पांसाठी वापरला जाणार आहे. चला पाहूया या स्पर्धेची एक झलक.
मैं और एक तू दोनों मिले किस तरह एक
ज्यावेळी हिडन जेम सारख्या संस्था समाजासाठी कार्य करत असतात त्याचवेळी तुमच्या आणि आमच्या मानसिक संतुलनावर आपण लक्ष देणे जरुरी असते. यासाठी ज्योत्स्ना भट आणि डॉक्टर वासुदेव दीक्षित यासारखे मानसोपचार तज्ज्ञ काम करत असतात.
Hello, my name is Dr. Jyotsna Bhatt. I'm a clinical psychologist practicing in New Jersey and Pennsylvania. When I became a clinical psychologist, I started getting a lot of calls from family members and friends who didn't necessarily want to seek out professional help, but they wanted to get my advice. And I realized that some of the things that were, holding South Asians back, Indians and Pakistani, Bangladeshi, was the idea of the stigma of mental health in our community. It's actually, studies have been showing that South Asian communities are having an increase in mental health issues, especially for males between 15 to 24. And suicide rates for females in the South Asian population is also on the rise and higher than the general population. There's some other studies that have been done, about immigration and that's impact. So there's a lot out there that's happening in this area, and we need to talk about it and shed more light on it.
Hi, I'm Dr. Vasudev Dixit. I'm a counseling psychologist in New Jersey. I'm practicing in Rutgers University Newark Counseling Center, as well as Summit Psychological Services in Summit, New Jersey. Growing up as a second-generation Indian, I was blessed to have the support, the blessings, the love from my family. And so in my pursuit, in my research, in the work that I've done with the South Asian community, I found that I'm not the only one. There are a number of issues that I think have remained in silence still, whether it's depression, anxiety, whether it is the challenges that immigrants face emigrating from India or other countries. And I think that this silence can really shift the way we talk about ourselves and think about ourselves. And when we don't talk about things, they can have really negative impacts that we may not always see right away. Among the things that we don't talk about is substance use. And it is not just one of those things that happens to other people. This is stuff that impacts everyone. I think a key way to look at this is we all have the same human brain, and all brains, while they may not be initially created equally, they are all under the same vulnerabilities of stress and addiction. Call out sexism. We need to support each other. We need to call out and better understand how to deal with abuse, whether it's physical or verbal abuse, sexual abuse that happens to men, women, boys, or girls. And when we start talking, then we might have a chance to better ourselves.
These kind of stressors tend to manifest in ways that are not helpful, such as physical illnesses. We go to doctors when we start to have heart problems or when we have diabetes or cancer or asthma, any of these kind of things. But believe it or not, all of these are impacted by mental health. It's just as important to think about these on the same platform, the same scale as you would medical issues. So like I said, they manifest. You could even have colds. Someone who has constantly getting colds, guess what? They're stressed. There's stress involved in that, potentially. That's something to look at. Emotionally, you may be feeling sad often. You may be having moments of extreme, disinterest in things. Your motivation may be low. And if this is occurring over, a few weeks, not just something that happens once, but it's actually happening significantly over time for a few weeks, then we know that there's something happening there that should not be ignored. This can affect your appetite. It can affect, your weight. It can affect your sleep. It can affect your relationships. So we just want to make the point that these issues are just as important as a medical illness or diagnosis.
These are really tough conversations to have. As Dr. Bhatt was saying, we have to first be willing to talk about it, to say what's going on. And it can be scary at first. Certainly, many parents experience some shame, some guilt for something they may have done wrong. And the truth is that there is nothing to be guilty about, nothing to be shameful about, nothing to worry about what others will say. The reality is the longer we say nothing, when we notice that someone's behavior is changing or the way they look is changing, maybe they're having difficulties in school, the longer we go without saying anything, the less supportive we are. And so if someone, as Dr. Bhatt was saying, does open up to you, it could be a child, it can be a partner, it could be another adult relative, it means they trust you. It means that they trust you, and with that trust, they would hope that you have a listening ear without judgment. There are resources for anyone, for any problem. If you break your arm, would you say, okay, let me just sit here and see if it works out? No, you would go to a medical doctor. Similarly, the pains that we may experience emotionally, mentally, maybe a trauma, maybe just a learning difficulty, maybe something happened that really affected us and we never really had a chance to talk about it. These things don't affect us in ways that you can see on the outside, but they're there. And so, for example, children in school, there's often, if not always, a school counselor. I work in a college counseling center. Every college, as far as I know, has a college counseling center. There are private practitioners, like myself and Dr. Bhatt, who are willing and able and accessible to help.
So we met at Lake Hiawatha in Parsippany, which is, there's a library there that we had about 10 to 15 people, and they were adults, and there was actually even a teenager there as well, different ages, different backgrounds from India, and as well as different levels of acculturation to this country. And it was really nice. We had a lovely first sort of gathering where we talked about some of these major issues that, we're all struggling with. And one of the main sort of platforms that Dr. Dixit and I decided we wanted to stand on was bringing that common ground of the South Asian culture and our identity and how this impacts us. All the things that we spoke about a little bit earlier on this show. So It was a great success. We realized people really enjoy talking about these issues and have a lot to say and had a lot to ask about, and they learned a lot, as did we.
These conversations, we want to be inspirational. We want to be able to show how to talk about this, where to go with this stuff, whether it's about immigration, being bicultural, raising children in a new country, dealing with those challenges, whether it's about other mental health issues that we've talked about today.
याबरोबरच आपली परवानगी घेते. यासारख्या इतर बातम्या जर तुम्हाला आमच्या ह्या कार्यक्रमात दाखवायच्या असतील तर कृपया खाली दिलेल्या लिंकवर आम्हाला संपर्क करा. नमस्कार. आता भेटू पुढील भागात.